right, Awesemo, here we go. It's your old pal Emac coming to you on Sunday morning, a little MLB live before lock, or wait for it, it actually is going to be live before lock. I am joined by DFS Max, and we are taking you up to the 1 o'clock lock here. 9 of our 11 games go off in the first hour here, actually in the first 15 minutes, Max. It's going to be a flurry of activity. What do you got going on for us today?
I don't know, man. I'm excited. It's Sunday. My kids get to go back to daycare tomorrow. You know, life couldn't be better. I used to live for the weekend when I was younger, and now I live for the week where I can be left alone to my own devices.
Now, do you work from home? Do you go?
Yeah, I work from home. So, you know, it's gravy when I get to drop the kids off and they're at school for 9 hours and I get to chill out.
Oh, it's a bonus. Does your wife work from home as well? Or
yeah, she does. Before COVID, it was so great. I would just be me, the dogs, go for a little walk.
Nobody questions a little 2 o'clock nap.
Yeah, have like a beer with my lunch, you know. But now it's different times. I have to actually put pants on and, you know, look presentable.
Gotcha. All right. Well, speaking of looking presentable, we got to look presentable. We're sort of almost twins today with our colored shirts. Mine has a baseball on it. Yours has a collar, so a little bit different there. But we are presented by the one and only Prize Picks. We will talk about them. We're going to cover the 11-game early slate. There's a 3-game afternoon slate. We've already got content up for that as well. Reminder, if you guys have not already hit the like button, we have about 200 of you in here. We would appreciate that. Also, if you subscribe, that'll be very helpful. Hit that notification bell and know any time that we go live with Awesemo content on our YouTube channel, which is quite frequently. Already in the can is Alex Baker, Awesemo himself, fresh off a $100,000 win in Euro Cup soccer, of all things, including
rich get richer, Emac,
including being led to the top of the leaderboard by a guy who didn't start, came in and got a goal and an assist that allowed Alex to get not only $100,000, the top prize for the soccer contest yesterday, but he is in the whatever the DK version of the Tournament of Champions are, which anybody that wins one of these contests ends up with getting another opportunity to win $1 million because they don't.
Life is good when you're Alex, man.
All right, let's get going here on the good stuff. Let's see. We have San Francisco at Washington. It is Johnny Cueto going against Tyson Ross. Sorry, Joe Ross. Tyson Ross would be his older brother, Joe Ross Jr. This one's a little bit warm. It's not hot like it has been in the DC area. It is going to be humid. Surprisingly, Johnny Cueto is allowing the lowest power numbers of his career this season. Yeah. That's a bit of a shock. I think it's also a bit of a mirage here. I do like Juan Soto tremendously. I'm not a fan of either pitcher in this game. They did play their doubleheader yesterday. Didn't really overtax the bullpens, but not great pitching on either side. What do you want to do with our opening game?
Yeah, definitely no pitching from this game. Weather is nice.
You might be muted.
Am I? No. I'm not muted.
Oh, then wait. Are my headphones not working?
Maybe. Are your headphones not? Oh,
Tyler.
Can you hear me?
Problem solved.
Good? We good?
I'm good.
All right.
For those of you that are wondering, look at that. I've got the little AirPods in. Haven't figured them all out yet. So my apologies. Back to the first game. I'm turning it over to you.
All right. No pitching. Definitely some hitting from this game. The spark play is pretty small in the summer with the humidity. So these lineups are a little weird for me. Tauchman leading off is really interesting versus Joey Ross. I mean, Ross is just bad all around, but he's especially bad versus lefties. 562 xFIP, 352 WOBA given up, 17% walks, and 24% strikeouts. Also a ton of hard contact, a ton of flat balls. So yeah, I love the San Francisco stack. You can throw in Posey in there. He's hitting like, I don't know, Joe DiMaggio now. But yeah, Belt, Crawford, Yastrzemski, Tauchman, those are the guys I'm targeting from the San Francisco. And then from Washington, Cueto is not giving up a lot of power, you're right, but giving up some good X numbers, so eventually that should come around. Also worse versus lefties than righties. Actually, not too bad versus righties at all. Not really walking anybody, 2% walks, 23% strikeouts, 318 xFIP versus righties. But versus lefties, it's a different story, 454 xFIP, only 15% strikeouts, and a lot of fly balls. So here, obviously, Soto is one of the primary guys we always like to target. He's actually changed his launch angle pretty good now and hitting a lot more fly balls. And we have Kyle Schwarber leading off at 4.2K. Perfect matchup for him. Strikeouts are his problem, but Cueto's not going to be able to strike him out. So you should get the ball in the air and hopefully goes out of the yard. The rest of this lineup doesn't look good with all these righty batters that don't hit for power. So for me, I think it's just Schwarber, Soto one-offs. Compare them together. And Alex Avila, catcher, always hits for a little bit of power, and 3.5K is too cheap.
All right. I am getting so 14 seasons in. I wanted to look that up just to make sure for Cueto here. Yeah, it's his fastball is the fastest it has been in like 5 seasons, I believe, really? Since 2015. He's actually averaging 92 on it this year. So that was a little bit interesting. Looks like he's given up the curveball, which he was throwing about 10 single digits, basically upper single digits. And he's now moved into more of a cutter with that. So I was just trying to, I always laugh on these shows. It's like, I can look up the pitch numbers and dive into them. It just takes me so damn long to find them because you have to go to a couple different sites and all of that. So I usually just kind of stay on the basics. Yeah. And I let you and Terry and everybody else dive into the X numbers and the spin rate and all that good stuff. I just kind of like velocity. What can I get off Brooks baseball and what's showing up on FanGraphs before I start chasing StatCast and a variety of other things. But it was nothing really looks different. So it could be a little bit of a sample size there for him. I agree. I was a little surprised to see Schwarber leading off. Zimmermann is batting cleanup today. Was not quite expecting that. It looks like they gave Josh Bell the day off, but top 3 guys, Schwarber, Turner, and Soto, are all good. They're all excellently priced on Yahoo as well. So they were my Yahoo stack of the day. Anything else you have from this game for us?
No, I mean, just stack up the batters. I really like the Giants here. San Francisco, like they're a little bit priced up, but all these guys hit for power right now. And don't sleep on Brandon Crawford. I think he left the game early, but I guess he's fine since he's in the lineup.
Late scratch, I think, was yesterday.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep. And then you see Belt's batting 6th. A little bit of a surprise there. I wonder if they're is he still harboring a little bit of that oblique strain that had
maybe they're just trying to go more lefty righty instead of putting 4 out of the first 5 guys lefties. That's all I can think of. Okay. Wilmer Flores does not deserve a 4.7K price tag.
No, not against a righty, maybe against a lefty.
And maybe against lefty. You're right.
We'll see. All right, on to the next game. Now we're going to keep cruising through all of the good stuff here. We have our too many windows open. New York at Philadelphia. We have Domingo Germán going against Aaron Nola. The Nola prop of the day, rather interesting here. Plus 100. So basically even money for over 7.5 strikeouts. You could find these odds at oddshopper.com. That is a sister site of Awesemo. So you want to check that out, find the best odds at any of the sports wagering sites that are offering that particular player prop. It is there. But that seems like a reasonable target. That means he has to get 8 strikeouts. Can Aaron Nola do that against your Yankees without the designated hitter?
Yeah, I'm going over on this one for sure. The top 2 guys in the lineup don't strike out, like DJ and Gilbert, but everybody else does. This is a very watered down lineup for the Yankees. No Judge, no Stanton. So that's a perfect spot for Nola. I love him for DFS as well. 9.6K is too cheap. His numbers are really good this year. 15% swinging strikes, only 26% strikeouts, which really should be higher for that kind of swinging strike rate. My dog agrees with me. Some hard contact and giving up, but I'm not really concerned with this really crappy Yankees lineup. Like they have Gardner, Frazier, and Duar, Sanchez, Urshela. Rugner Door is batting third. Like, this is just crazy to me. And their Vegas total is 3.8. I would go under on that as well.
On the other side there, would you consider Domingo Germán at all, or are you looking for some power going against him?
Yeah, no Germán for me. He's been so lucky this year. Like, his numbers aren't bad, but his slugging given up is 443, but he's barely given up any home runs. So, like, his ERA is 2, but his xFIP is 4. So he's gonna run into some variance eventually, where he's gonna give up some runs. Might as well be here, Philly, 80%, 80 degrees, 60% humidity, and they're actually putting up a good lineup as opposed to the Yankees today, with Harper's in there, Herrera, Realmuto, Hoskins, all their good guys. So yeah, I don't like Germán today. What do we have him projected for as far as? 2% owned. Yeah. So like maybe 5% in GPPs, Emac, if you're putting in what are you doing these days? 300 lineups. So
yeah, I'm usually running about 150.
Yeah, 150.
Although I'm not a 150 maxer, I generally run 150 to 200 lineups, and I put them across a variety of contests. So I sort of create my own GPP in these smaller league-sized tournaments because I like the payout structure better. It's not as top heavy. And when you're going against 500 people, a 1% lineup really could get you a top 3, whereas a 1% lineup in these gigantic contests might get you 2 or 3x. I don't like those payouts.
I totally agree. So yeah, I mean, run a little bit of Germán just because he does have good stuff, but like I would go way under everybody else in his price range.
All right, that makes sense. Let's continue on. We're at the quarter hour mark. Got a couple free items today. No free tools. It's Sunday, but we've got some free articles here. I'm going to drop the links. Here's the link to the leverage article by Terry T. McBee. It also has all of his home run picks as well as the optimal hitting plays. And then I have spotlight hitters and pitchers in stacks, where I cover the top 3 pitchers and then a stack for each of the slates. And I don't write up the obvious stacks because it's more fun. I mean, do you need me to tell you to play the Yankees? Do you need me to tell you to play hit batters in Coors Field? No, you don't. So we're looking at some different things here and just across the different sites, anything I notice and point out. But those are some good reads. Those are free every day for you guys. We appreciate you guys, so we want to give a little bit back. All right, game 3 here. We have the San Diego Padres at the Mets. It's a little Joey Lucchesi Remember Me game going on. The Mets have done something. Yeah, he just played them a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and got blown up.
Yes, no surprise there. We have a plus 280 for Fernando Tatis to hit a home run. That is the second highest home run odds.
I never seem to get those right.
It's a pretty good one. It's a nice matchup for him for sure. The one thing that's interesting about Lucchesi, however, is the Mets have made a concerted effort his last few starts to not let him go through the opposing lineups a third time, because he really, really falls off the shelf. So he's probably going to get about 4 innings in. Maybe they're just telling him that. I don't think he's going to have, I don't think he'd get a third time through the lineup unless he was really cruising. But that was just an interesting note I found when looking at this. He has a 5.8 ERA, nothing great. Paddock on the other side, marginal pitcher today. I've got others I like more, but he is kind of right at that break point of, I wouldn't hate if he's in my lineup, but I'm not going out of my way to get him. I certainly don't want to take hitters against him. What do you like or dislike from this game?
Can I just pass? I mean, Paddock is too expensive, right? At 9.4K, and they just don't let him go that deep in the game. Plus his strikeout numbers aren't great. 11% strikeouts. It's kind of whatever. So I don't think you can pay that price for him today. And yeah, he's 3% owned in our sheet. So obviously that's why. And then on the other side, Lucchesi doesn't give up much hard contact at all. Especially to righties in the 20 percentile range, but it's 50% fly balls. So I guess a lot of infield flyouts, that's all I can think of, or just weekly hit fly balls for him. But that's usually a recipe for disaster to give up that many fly balls. San Diego's just really expensive, right? Across the board. 4.8K for Tommy Pham, like 6.2K for Tatis, Machado at 5.6. Myers, I guess, is the only like affordable option. And then Hassan Kim gives you a little bit of stolen base and home run upside. But yeah, I'm not really in on the Padres stack. I think there are better spots. Like you said, they're not going to let Lucchesi go that deep in the game, which means they're going to bring in some relief arms. Most of the relievers these days throw like 95, 96. So it's not like you're going to get really like bad arms out of the bullpen unless it's like a 10-0 game or something. So I think it's a stay away spot for me, Emac.
All right, that sounds good. You know what else sounds good? The Awesemo Podcast Network. Any of our shows that are on the YouTube channel that are not live before locks will generally find their way to the Awesemo Podcast Network within about an hour of when they air. You guys can check them out there. And here's the catch. No, it's not a catch. It's a gift. If you guys leave a 5-star review with your Twitter handle or your Awesemo username in there, we're going to put you in a drawing for 52 weeks to give you the chance to win 1 free month of Awesemo premium content. They've bumped that up. They want the 5-star reviews. So they are giving away a full month of Awesemo premium content. One lucky winner will be drawn every Friday. And again, you will be eligible to win for up to a year. This is the best chance you have out there to win a free month of Awesemo Plus, as you're competing against less people than any other giveaways we run. So put in your 5-star review and make it count. We've got a podcast for every sport, and we're available on every major platform. So head on over to the awesemo.com/podcast to check things out. Game number 4. We have a barn burner here. I was shocked. A 10 implied run total. It's going to be 80, 85 degrees here in Boston. Slight little breeze blowing out to center field. Martin Perez. So here's the interesting thing. Would it shock you to find out that in his last 15 starts, he has allowed 4 or more runs only 3 times? Now, his last start, he did allow 6. He doesn't get blown up.
Yeah, ground ball guy, right? Like everything
Absolutely.
on the ground. So
he had a couple sketchy seasons in Texas that everybody remembers, and he's mostly a ground ball guy.
Yeah, I mean, these guys usually don't get blown up unless you get a bunch of seeing eye hits. Yeah, I mean, they're also like not really fun to stack against because you'll get a couple guys on and then it'll be a double play and you're going to be just ripping your hair out. Yeah, I mean, I see the run total, but I don't think it's going like I would bet the under here for sure. Robbie Ray's for real. Like the strikeout numbers are really good. And Devers is not in the lineup today. It's kind of a watered down lineup for the Red Sox here. And then the Blue Jays, I mean, a bunch of really good hitters, but against righties, and it's mostly what the Blue Jays are here. Where's Perez against righties? Yeah, so only 35% ground balls actually against righties this year. That's a little bit lower than I thought, but only 29% hard contact, 17% soft contact, and ISO giving up of only 124. That's really low. So yeah, I think he's getting a little bit lucky with the contact just because he is getting a lot of fly balls against righties. So maybe it's a stack spot here. It's like I think it's a stack or complete fade for me for the Blue Jays. And I'm not on the Red Sox at all in this spot. I think maybe you can play like a JD Martinez or a Bogarts, but all the other guys just like strike out too much. I like Renfroe. Like we're both Renfroe fans, Emac, and I like him best against guys that with really low swinging strike rates, just because he swings and misses a lot. But when he does make contact, it goes really far. So it's kind of the opposite of what I like with Robbie Ray. So I would put him against the pitcher that doesn't strike him out. Bobby Dalbec is only 2.2K. I get that play, a lot of power versus left-handers, so that's fine. But just a price play for me. But I don't think I want to stack the Red Sox here.
That's fair enough. Yeah, this was one of those where I'm thinking, the under might be the way to go. Of course, crazy things can happen against bullpens, etc. But 10 runs is a pretty lofty projected total here. So if you can get 9.5 or under, I think that is the way I would go, as long as you don't have to put too much juice on that. Maybe minus 140, minus 160 would be somewhat reasonable. All right, continuing along, we have Detroit hosting the Chicago White Sox. Kyle Funkhouser. It's a fun name to say. He will be making his first major league start. However, he has pitched 13 relief appearances. If I can get to my notes here and remember that correctly. Oops. Ooh, boy, I got to change the sound. I'm getting all my computer sounds going through my headphones now. So when I screw up something in Excel and you get that ding, it sounds like a gong going off inside my head. That's why I had muted my computer, but apparently it muted everything. So I will have to not make those little errors here. In any event, I am okay going with the White Sox for this one. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, 13 relief appearances for Funkhouser over the last month. He's a 2.7 ERA. On the other side, we have Carlos Rodon, who is in an excellent spot. He does win the lottery of who gets to go against the Detroit Tigers. They have a 3.7 implied run total here. It's going to be warm in Detroit, slight 8 to 10 mile an hour breeze going out there to right center in the low 80s, but I feel comfortable going with Carlos Rodon. The back half of this Detroit lineup is like a bunch of who's this guy. We have Isaac Paredes, a couple of Castros, and Jake Rogers. Who?
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Yeah, I mean, Rodon is your chalk, right? Like, what do we have him projected at? 43%. He doesn't go deep into games, but he strikes everyone out. Like, his swinging miss stuff this year is beyond. I think he raised 5 miles on his fastball or something insane this year. Yeah, he has a 15% swinging strike rate, 37% strikeouts, gives up a little bit of hard contact, a little bit of home runs. His home run to fly ball rate is a little bit elevated at 20% this year. That should go down. It's not walking anybody. Walks used to be his problem. If you remember, Emac, like just kind of like going really not very deep in games just because of a ton of walks, but only 5% walks this year. His xFIP was 251. Everything just lines up very, very well for him, including the aforementioned Detroit lineup. Kyle Funkhouser, I don't even know if we should be paying attention to who's starting because he throws like 20 pitches. So I'm assuming he's going to pitch an inning, maybe 2, and the rest is Detroit bullpen, which is not good. The bullpen is not good here. So, yeah, I mean, I love the White Sox stack. They are our top projected stack at 11%. And you get a little bit of leverage with them as well. They're only projected to be 8% owned. So you always love to see that. And, yeah, I think they're easy to stack just because you can go 1 through 5 here. They're also putting out a kind of a watered down lineup today. But you have Grandal, you have Abreu, you have Moncada. Brian Goodwin just came back off the injured list and is like smashing the ball. So he's only 2.6K batting second. And Luis Garcia has like some sneaky power, switch hitter at 3.3K leading off. So they're not expensive and they're projected for 5.5 runs. It's 80 degrees with wind blowing out. Sign me up, Emac.
I am fully ready to make that plunge with you. I see we have almost 500 people in the old YouTube. Woo! That's pretty cool for a Sunday. Hit that like button. Hook us up here. We got a comment here from Mock Wall. He says, "Hey, I've seen Emac in random afternoon 25-cent turbo contests. I'm thinking there's going to be easier competition. Nope, there's 20 from Emac. When you have the Awesemo premium tools, you want to get them in as many contests as possible. And until I am down, or until I have played my $1 million on DraftKings, you will find me in everything $1 and below. There are good players there. It's just a little easier. And the payout structures tend to be a little bit better on those contests than the gigantic, incredibly top heavy, 30% or 40% of the prize pool going to the top 10 players, 20% to first. I don't like playing those contests. It's not nearly as fun. I just reached out to DK to see where I stood. I've only played $750,000 in entries. So I've got about 2 more years worth of playing in these low dollar contests. And you're going to see me in all the slates until then. I don't tell my wife I played $750,000, $750,000. Are you insane? No, it's the same couple $1,000 over and over and over. Do you see any deposits on the credit cards? No. So what? Just, mushrooms.
Right.
Keep them in the dark. Feed them shit.
Can we say shit on the air?
Well, we just did. Who cares? Listen, nobody's watching it.
I hit my 1 million, I think, 3 years ago, and I wish I was still in those contests because those were some some juicy ROIs there. But yeah, it sucks. I didn't even get like a t-shirt or like a hat or anything.
Nothing.
I think they promised me a polo when I hit 1 million, and yeah, nothing. Hook me up, please.
Yeah. I'd be mad. I'd a strongly worded email, I think.
I'm gonna do that.
All right, back to the task at hand. Oh, that's a reminder. We've got Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the sponsor of the show, and boy, do they have a deal for you. If you have not yet signed up there, make your first deposit using the promo code Awesemo, and they will match you up to $100. That's better than any information I can give you or Max can give you. $100 on your $100. That's a nice way to start things off. So how do you play over there? Well, there's no sharks. There's no lineup optimizers. There's really no mass multi-entry. Basically, it's a player prop contest where you choose 2, 3, 4, or 5 different player props that are available on the board, and you project them, or you determine if they're going to go above or below whatever the projected score is. The more questions you choose, or the more player props you choose, the higher your winnings can be. If you select up to 5 players and correctly get all 5, that will get you 10 times your entry fee. They have NBA, esports, golf. They had some MMA. They've got MLB, of course. NFL's coming up right around the corner. The nice thing is you can combine your picks across the different sports. Very, very helpful when you are sitting back on a Saturday or Sunday and you want to have a little excitement throughout the day. You can pick a few different sports there. Have some fun. It's Prize Picks. Promo code Awesemo gets you a deposit match up to $100. They are over there at prizepicks.com, as well as available in Google Play and the App Store.
Sweet.
Back to the games. Are you ready, sir? Because we have Colorado at the Reds. It's going to be in the upper 80s. We have a light breeze going out to right field, 6 to 10 miles an hour. We have Antonio ground ball Senzatella on the mound with staring down a 5.6 implied run total. On the other side, we have Tony Santillan. Now, he's an interesting guy. This is going to be his debut. He is a righty. He's 6'3", 240 pounds.
Whoa.
That's like a Vogelbach, basically, as a pitcher.
Why is a linebacker pitching?
Yeah, needless to say, he's had a variety of injuries throughout his career because it's not exactly the most pitching-friendly body type, but he does have a really good fastball. He has made 6 starts in AAA so far this year, including just over 100 pitches in his last one. So I would expect we should see him, as long as things go reasonably well. 75, 80 pitches seems like a reasonable consideration today. I point him out because he's 5,500 on DraftKings, and he is $28 on Yahoo, where if we are looking to get in some of these spendy bats plus a top end pitcher, he's going to be someone that's a viable SP2. I would not go, he's not in, or at least as of this morning, he was not in the FanDuel player pool, but I would see no need to go there. There's just not that many offensive environments I'd want to target, and FanDuel, you can find enough cheapies to make everything work there with their buy one, get one prices. How do you feel about this game? I was a little surprised that we have a 10, some sites have gone up to 10.5 for their run total here.
I mean, we know this park plays small, right? Great American Small Park, but 86 degrees and 70% humidity. The ball should be flying here. And I mean, Senzatella keeps everything on the ground. That's the worry, right? But this lineup, man, is Winker, Naquin, Castellanos. Votto is hitting the ball well. You can put Suarez in this lineup just because Senzatella doesn't strike anybody out. I wouldn't play any one-offs here, Emac, but I think this is a stack. This is a great stack today. And they're only projected for for 6% ownership. I was really surprised to see this. And they're our 4th highest projected stack. So I love the spot for Cincy. I mean, I think these guys have good enough swings where they can get the ball in the air against this guy, especially the lefties, Naquin and Winker. I love the stack 1 through 5, or even I think 2 through 6 gives you more upside, fading India and getting a bigger power bat in Suarez. For the Rockies, I mean, I just never play them because they don't have any good hitters outside of Ryan McMahon. I would play him against Santillan. I'm not sure I would play Santillan just because of first start. You don't really know what's going to happen. Could get some walks in, really good hitting weather, and 5.5K. I don't know if you need that like crazy salary saver just because there's no really expensive stacks. Yeah. So I don't know. How much Santin are you playing? Because we haven't projected for what, like 1%?
12%.
12%.
Yeah. I will go up to 25.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's aggressive. I mean, the lineup is bad enough where I get it, but he did have 12 walks in 32 innings. So he does throw it around a little bit.
45 strikeouts across 130.
Yeah, no, that's, I mean, the fastball is really, really nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. 5.5K for sure. Yeah, the total looks a little bit high for me at 10.5 as well, since we're talking betting also. So yeah, I mean, for me, it's the red stack here. You can put a little bit of Santin in for sure. And I would play McMahon as a bring back if you're playing anybody from the Rockies.
All right, continuing along. Let's see. Let's talk about Shane Bieber. Then we'll talk about the Awesemo Hall of Fame because that's always a fun topic for us. We have Shane Bieber going against Seattle. Bieber, over his last 1,500 batters faced, has a 32% strikeout rate and a 6% walk rate. That's pretty good. The Mariners, of course, are without Evan White and Kyle Lewis. They sent back Jared Kelenic down to the minors so he could clear his head, figure some things out. Kind of a piss poor lineup here. Mitch Haniger, Kyle Seager, really the only threats. I see no reason to play any Mariners today. We saw last night that anything can happen when Texas somehow hung 12 runs on the Dodgers. I'm just not expecting that from the Mariners today. So Bieber, definitely the top-end pitcher. He will be vying with Carlos Rodon. I think I'm going to target 55% of each of those pitchers, hence why I'm going a little bit higher on Santin. But what do you want to do here with this game, and why is it play lots of Shane Bieber?
I mean, I love Bieber, right? Like
Justin or Shane?
Both. Okay. I'm a believer. You can call me that, Emac. Yeah, I mean, Bieber had a 9% swinging strike rate in his last start since they banned those stickies. So I don't know if that's anything. I didn't look into his spin rate numbers. I probably should. But yeah, that's just something interesting to note. Yeah, I don't know what to dig into that. I had a bunch of him the last start, so I was very interested into why nobody was swinging and missing at his stuff. But I don't think it matters against this Mariners lineup. Like, Kyle Seager is really, really good. Haniger is really, really good. And everybody else is just terrible. I think it's a record, Emac. They have 5 hitters at 2K at min price on DK. Have we ever seen that?
Not since they were doing silly things when people were going against Apex Clayton Kershaw 5 years ago.
Yeah, maybe. But like, this is crazy. You can stack this team and probably have like
you can have 5 hitters for the price of 1 Bieber.
Yeah, that's your Sunday sale right there. Yeah, I mean, this lineup is so bad. Yeah, I love Bieber. I think I like Rodon more just because of I'm more assured of Rodon's swing and miss stuff right now, which is weird to say, than Bieber's, with how much Bieber relies on the breaking pitches and Rodon relies on the fastball. So I love them both. If you can fit them both and get like a cheap stack, I think that's really, really good upside. But yeah, I mean, they're both going to be 50% owned, so you're not going to be that different than the field.
All right, let's look at the Awesemo Hall of Fame here. This is the one of our nice little promotion we have. You can get your name in lights, not only in DFS contests, but also here at Awesemo on our show. So to get into the Hall of Fame, all you got to do is send us a nice, lovely screenshot of you doing well. Tweet that at Awesemo HOF and Awesemo_COM. Give us a little shout out and we'll give you a shout out in turn on the show. So we got a nice one here up at the top. We have Charlie. He has sent in, given a shout out to Shander, Greg, Terry and Spag said, nice work leveraging on the high-owned Paul George and getting in some of the late news with the Batum start. He has a nice little $400 day. Moving along here, we have a $100,000 victory from Supavash. So hat tip to him. Looks like he was riding a Denver stack there with the Denver and Suns stack, but hat tip to him. Got in on the Will Barton early, so nice work there. Moving along, we've got another one here, $10,000 victory from MT Barnett. So hat tip to him. Oh, look at who's in fifth. That's Awesemo himself, cruising right along up the leaderboard. Of course, these are Alex's tools and projections along with the rest of Team Awesemo on the data team, and they do use them themselves. Oh, there's Chris Spags. Spags is on a bit of a tear right now for NBA. Nice little victory there in the showdown the other night. And then wrapping it up, we have some NASCAR here. Lou says, ain't the biggest money tournament, but still pretty nice ROI on that one. Hey, we celebrate all the wins here. That's the key thing. Right. And a bonus for you guys. If you have the Awesemo avatar and finish top 3 in any contest with 5,000 people or more, shoot us a screenshot. We'll get you a free month of Awesemo premium content. 2 little caveats. You get 1 per sport per year, and showdowns, you got to finish top 3 overall. So if it's a massive tie at first, we'd go broke giving out everybody the free month. So that's the only little caveats, but we'll still share the screenshots with you. So there you are. Have some fun with the Awesemo Hall of Fame. I certainly do. It makes me happy to see other people having success. All right, we have an interesting take here from Max. Our next game, we have the Baltimore Orioles going into Tampa Bay, taking on the Rays. Michael Wacha will be making a start. He is an opener. I will be shocked if he goes more than 2 or 3 innings. I love him, but I got to call him out on this one. The MLB.com probable pitchers page, they find more and more ways to give us less and less information. So here's their Wacha blurb. Wacha is making his 7th start of the season. He's an opener. It doesn't matter. He is searching for his 2nd win. He's not going to get it. He won't be the pitcher of record in the 5th inning because he's not going to be in the 5th inning. Thankfully,
we could do a better job. They should pay us.
They give him all that good information. He is allowing a 250 batting average to opponents. There's their data.
Yeah. Very good.
Love you guys. Love you guys. But come on, you're about 30 years behind the times with your analysis.
I mean, eventually they'll get there, right? But we hope.
So who's your surprise here? You got a little wager you were talking about before
the
show.
I like Zimmermann. What is it, over 5.5?
Over 5.5 strikeouts. I was a little surprised. You had some good points. Yep,
so break this down. 12% swinging strike rate, 27% Ks. You wouldn't think that for him. That's right in line with like a Valdez or a Herman. So, and even better than Paddock. So he does have some swing and miss stuff. He also gives up a ton of hard contact and a bunch of fly balls, which is why, pitching in Baltimore for him isn't great. But where is he today? He's not in Baltimore. He's in Tampa, where they are in that horrible, horrible dome that doesn't give up any power. And the lineup for the Rays doesn't look very good, but has a ton of strikeouts in it. Some of these guys strike out over 30%, like low 31%. Brett Phillips, 40%. Taylor Walls, 27%. Randy Arozarena, 27%. Mike Brosseau, 35%. So I like this bet. What do you think, Emac?
I'm getting more and more convinced with it. I think that's a solid look there.
Yeah, and it's plus 150. Like, they're giving you some odds there.
So what about for DFS? He's 6,600 on DK. He has put up 17, 21, and 23 DK points in his last 3. There's a -4 in there, but he does have 24.5 the one before that. So those are some pretty solid starts against the Mets, Twins, White Sox, the Nationals,
and then these are good teams.
Yankees. So some pretty solid teams. Perhaps we've been giving him a bit of the short shift here.
Yeah, I mean, he's still giving up a lot of hard contact. So, like, if he gives up a couple solo shots, like, do you really care if he strikes out 7 guys at 6,600? No. He's going to give you a decent score, and he's going to let you get those 11K Biebers and 10K Rodons in and a decent stack with them. So, yeah, I definitely like him for DFS purposes and only 2% owned.
All right. And I'm gonna bump him up. He's gonna be 15%. I'm gonna need it because we're falling off the shelf quick on pitchers here. We got three good ones in Rodon, Bieber, and Nola, but it really drops because then we'll talk about Pablo Lopez here in just a second. He's got to go against Atlanta. Robbie Ray, we've already mentioned their strikeout upside. That's not an easy lineup going against Boston in the heat. Chris Paddock doesn't excite us. We'll talk a little bit about Framber Valdez, but it's always tough with the lefty going against Minnesota. And then on the other side of that one, who do we have for Minnesota? Where did they go?
I mean, Smiley's the chart
Pineda.
that you mentioned.
Well, I'm terrified. So he's
awful. Like, people need to stop playing him.
Do you know
he's
why?
projected for 35% ownership. This is crazy.
Do you know?
Because it's a Miami lineup and he's in Miami. That's why.
No, it's his birthday today. He turns 32.
Oh, yeah, the birthday narrative. I should have known. Clearly, he's gonna stay. When it's your birthday, you start out with 20 DK points. It's a
beautiful thing. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, so that Mike Campbell's saying Drew Smiley's 30% owned because he's awesome. Well, that's not the word I would use to say about him. But let's do a little game log surfing here. 4 innings, 1 DK point. 4 innings, 11 DK points. 5 1/3, 3 DK points. Yikes! Yeah, that's not great.
Looking at his advanced stats, it's not any better. 45% hard contact. That's the worst on the slate. And it's all fly balls, like 43% fly balls. 11% swinging strikes, I guess, but Bruce Zimmermann is better at 12%, only 18% Ks. He is in Miami in that dome, which mitigates power. Yes, that's
although the roof may be open.
Oh, the roof is open, I think. Yeah, which is actually a really good point. That park does play smaller when the roof is open. And this Miami lineup, like, they don't strike out that much. Like, the Rays strike out way more than they do. Here, let's look at like hitter by hitter here and like just see which guys seem more palatable. So Jazz strikes out at 32%, but he also has some power, a 420 X slugging. Then it's 19, 16, 20, Adam Duvall at 32, and Alfaro at 31. Then it's 22 and 24. And then you get the pitcher. Yeah, I mean, the strikeout matchup is fine. I just don't think Smiley has anything left, to be honest. His X slugging given up is 556. I already mentioned the 47% hard hits. Launch angle is 16 degrees. That's like really, really good for power. So at 35% owned, I'm going to have none. That's my spiel here, Emac.
Yeah, I've set him. I get the price point, but I'd rather pay $2,000 or $2,300 more and get Adrian Hauser. I would rather drop down with Tony Setién. There's a lot of places I'd rather go. I'm going to set him at 15%. That's half the field. There is utility for $6,000. We shall see, but I think I'd rather play Logan Gilbert for the Mariners. Actually, he's getting his walks a little bit under control and he's getting a little bit more strikeouts as he's kind of making adjustments to the adjustments the league is making to him. But those would be guys I would prefer over Smiley. So that's just kind of an interesting spot. How do you feel about Pablo Lopez going against Atlanta? Atlanta only getting a 3.8 implied run total here. Who is missing from their lineup? Well, Abram Almonte is batting cleanup at 2,200.
Yeah, they don't have Swanson's not in it, and obviously Ozuna's out for the year.
Thank you. Yeah. Oops. Sorry. Yeah, he's out. He's done.
He's never coming back,
as he should be.
Yes, he's a jerk. So we don't want those in sports. Yeah, I mean, the roof's open, right? And he's 8.7K. And the matchup isn't good just because you still have Acuña, you still have Freeman, you still have Albies, and you still have Riley. And it's not like these Almonte Adrianza guys strike out that much. So it doesn't really add anything there. I just think, so like my whole idea on the slate is like Rodon and Bieber are projected for like 30 points. And then it's a big drop off. I think Nola is really close just because the Yankee lineup is bad. And he's in the 9Ks. But after those three guys, it's a huge drop off to like everybody else that you mentioned. So I don't think I want to play these like Pablo Lopez, Valdez, Herman guys, just because I don't see the upside for them that I see for the guys that just, 1K, 2K more, which is what, just like going from a 4K hitter to like a mid 2K hitter, which you can do, So yeah, I think I'm just going to lock in the really, really high upside pitching today and try and piece bats around that.
All right. So I want to talk a little more about Adrian Houser. He's in our next game here. So on a fun note, so we had Corbin Burns was cruising right along and then loaded the bases with no outs in the fifth inning. So they had to pull him. And I believe it was Trevor Richards that came in and ended up striking out the side. And it was the pucker factor was high for this, but he struck out the side. So I put out a tweet, something like, Trevor, we all never a doubt. And I put fireworks, a little gif. His wife actually liked the tweet. One of two people. I'm like, who liked that tweet? I'm like, well, that's weird. Why, me? Why is a girl liking this tweet? Is she DFS? I'm like, wait a second. That's that. I went and looked up the name. I'm like, that's his wife.
That's hilarious.
my brush with fame, I guess. Here. But in any event, yet again, it was Woodruff 2 days ago, Burns yesterday. It's Houser today. I'm streaming him across my leagues. I'm playing him 20%. We have him at 1% right now. That feels a little bit low. I'm hoping for 17. I've bumped his projections for me to 17 DraftKings points. We had him at about 14. I'm comfortable with that. It's like 2 extra strikeouts. How are you feeling about Houser in this one? And how great is it that we have Houser and Funkhouser on the same slate?
I mean, Funkhouser, I should have mentioned Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's a very prominent character whose, I think, nephew died when he went to Spain to chase a girl and got gored by a bull in the bull run. So that's not a good way to die, Emac. I don't think I would pick that as one of my...
Sounds a little painful to me.
Yeah. So, I mean, Houser was really good last year. This year, he's kind of having a down year. The strikeouts haven't been there. His velocity on his fastball is finally coming up. It was 94 last start. It's been like in low 93s. And he throws his fastball a lot. 70%, 66, 75, 77% fastballs. So you're not going to get a ton of strikeouts that go in that way. And Pittsburgh just doesn't have a lot of strikeouts in their lineup, even though they also don't have a lot of good hitters or a lot of power. But like Adam Frazier has 10% strikeouts. Hayes actually has really good power, but not only 19% Ks. Reynolds 20%. Then you have Moran at 28 and Polanco at 31. But nobody else really strikes out. Kevin Newman only 6%. So, and again, like you're just not going to get that really, really, really good pitching performance, I think, more often than not, that's going to win you a GPP here. So I think Houser is probably overpriced at 8.3. I don't think I want to go there. But I think we should talk about the Brewers' bats going against maybe the worst pitcher on the slate in Will Crow. Just a ton of power, 2 righties and lefties. The roof is open here in Milwaukee. It's 85 degrees. I like this lineup. Willie Adames batting 4th. I've been kind of touting him all year just because he's like a true 3 outcome guy, home run, walk or strikeout, and I love those guys. Vogelbach, and then it gets like a little bit soft here with Jace, Pena, and Jackie Bradley, although Jackie Bradley's hitting for good power this year as well. So I think I like Vogelbach, Garcia, and Adames as a 3-man here, Emac. And yeah, nobody from the Pirates really.
All right, that is going to take us on to the next one here. Our final game took us a while to get here, but here we are. 8 minutes left. You've got 13 minutes until lock. So I'm going to start hitting crunch myself. We have Framber Valdez going against Michael Pineda. Valdez has been pretty good this year, although it's a little terrifying with the lefty going against the Twins. It is going to be almost 90 degrees today in the Twin Cities. They have a bit of a heat wave going on right now. There's also a 12 to 15 mile an hour wind, not just a breeze, a wind going out to left center field here. Michael Pineda on the other side, not terrifying at all by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I am putting the Astros as one of my key stacks today. Main reasoning behind this is, one, they're mostly healthy, and two, Michael Brantley is $3,000 on FanDuel and $3,200 on DraftKings.
Wow.
What the hell? He's been back from the injured list, but across his most recent 4 games since returning, he's 8 for 15, 2 doubles, and 2 multi-hit games. Jordan Alvarez only has 1 home run in his last 15 games. However, he's incredibly low priced as well. Then you've got Bregman, Gurriel, Correa, et cetera, et cetera. I don't see a reason to go away from the Astros. The last 2 starts have been just unmitigated disasters here for Pineda. For the season, he has a 3.46 ERA, 1.1 whip, and 50 strikeouts in 52 innings. However, his last 2 starts against the Orioles in Camden Yards and the Yankees at home in Minnesota, he lasted just 7.1 innings, did not give up any home runs, but he did allow 7 runs, only 3 strikeouts.
God, he's bad.
No bueno.
Yeah,
no bueno.
He's so bad. And like 50% fly balls versus lefties, which bodes well for those guys that you mentioned in Brantley and Alvarez. Is Tucker in the lineup?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, so like those 3 guys are just in really, really, really amazing spots. So yeah, I mean, love the Astro stack, but let's talk about Valdez. It's actually a really interesting spot for him where his numbers are really, really good. Doesn't have a ton of sample size so far this year, but 14% swinging strike, 30% strikeouts, getting unlucky with home runs, giving up 33% home run to fly ball rate. Yeah, I think Valdez is in a really good spot at only 8,200. Like, instead of playing those 60, the 6K guys that we mentioned, or the 7K guys, I think I would just find a little bit more money and go to Valdez. Yeah, the Minnesota lineup is a little bit scary, but they also strike out. Like, the top 3 are really good and don't strike out that much. But then Rev Snyder, Sano, Larnack, Jeffers, and Celestino strike out a ton. Simmons doesn't strike out either, but he also doesn't hit for any power. So, yeah, I'm not that afraid of this Twins lineup. Like Valdez at 8.2K. I know I talked about those top 3 guys that I really liked, but I think I would fit Valdez into that mold just because of a strikeout rate.
All right. You want to round up your top stacks, your home runs, top pitchers. Pitchers are going to be pretty easy. It's going to be Bieber, Rodon. For me, I'm putting Funkhouser in there, and I'm going with Tony Setién, and I'm mispronouncing his name. I can't even do it. But in any event, I'm going with those guys on the cheap. I think Fernando Tatis is going to, and Juan Soto, or I get Luis Soho and Juan Soto confused in my mind. As a Yankees fan, you probably don't like Luis Soto, who was
isn't it so?
Both played for the team and led the Mariners against the Yankees way back in the day, 2005. Refused to lose playoffs, or no, pardon me, 1995. Refused to lose. Stacks, probably Chicago and Houston. A little bit of Nationals. Top 4 for the Nationals. What are your hits? And we'll get on out of here.
So my top pitchers are in order: Rodon, Bieber, Nola, and then Valdez. And then my top stacks would be the Giants, the Reds, and the White Sox. And who am I going to pick for my home run here, Emac? I'm going to go old man Brandon Crawford, since you and I are both old compared to everybody else on the staff.
He is batting cleanup today, so we shall see.
It.
When he connects, he hits home runs.
That's right. That's
is his batting average above 200 yet? I think I looked
a
couple weeks ago. It's like 193. Hey, at least it's better than Yasmani Grandal.
Grandal is also hitting a lot of home runs too. You can play him as well.
Oh, good times. Good times. All right. So that is going to wrap us up here. We've got lock in 7 minutes already in the can. You have the NBA show with Alex Baker, Awesemo himself, breaking that down fresh off his 100K win in Euro soccer. We have all sorts of content behind the paywall. You guys can get in on your first week with 15% off if you're a new Awesemo user by using the promo code MLB Live Before Lock. That's all one word, MLB Live Before Lock. Get you 15% off 1 week of Awesemo premium content. And shout out to Prize Picks, sponsor of the show. Remember, when you make your first deposit there, the promo code you want to use is Awesemo. They'll match you up to $100.
Beautiful.
With that, gamers, you can follow Max out there on Twitter at DFS Max. I am at Emac DFS. And of course, it is Awesemo_COM. Shout out to Jordan, the best producer in the whole wide world.
Wow.
Good luck, gamers. Happy birthday, Drew Smiley.
You're going to get rocked.